All right, peace, family. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Today is Monday. Recalibrating. Mondays. Recalibrating. Setting the tone. Getting ready for the week. In total transparency, Mondays are always a little weird for me. I don't know. It's like, what's the game plan? Even if we're coming off of last week and continuing on and carrying over that game plan, it's like a reset. So here we are, right? On Monday. Name of this topic today is steady deal flow. Steady deal flow. Um, it's just a lot going on right now. It's a lot going on in the world. So I'm gonna stay in my bubble. I'm gonna stay in my pocket. First and foremost, I do have to say this stuff. I do have to say because it's kind of being that they had the young man's funeral today, Nolan Wells. So when I say it's a lot going on, I think y'all getting that all over social media. So we don't need to touch on it um, too tough. But what a shame, what a pity that is. I think we would all agree to that. But it's always bigger than what they show you. Waters do run deep. Over here, this is why we try to help. Sincerely, we try to help. I really wish that this was something that I wish there was grants, right? I wish there was grants that the Acre Boys could just teach and the grants support us and we can just go around. We've been asked to come to this state, do workshops here, do seminars there. That would be a beautiful thing, right? That's not the case though. However, so here we are, and we have to extract, should I say, like-minded people, so we can continue to grow, we can continue to build. We give out as much free game as possible. Today, there's no push, there's no ask of anything. So when there's no ask of anything, there's no classes schedule or anything like that. It's a great time to ask questions. If you do have questions about anything, drop your questions in the comments below. Drop them in the chat. I'll see them and I'll address reasonable questions if you do have questions. I want to build on this topic: steady deal flow as a land investor. And for a person that this is what I do full time for a living, steady deal flow is a must. Like your 9 to 5 job, you don't ever want to hear your employer telling you, well, I can't pay you this week. Not this week, boss. Not this week. Holla at me next week. Steady deal flow. Like that's why most people opt into 9 to 5 jobs because it is something predictable. It is something steady. In this business, a little more riskier when you on your own, right? We eat what we kill. So that's why there needs to be steady deal flow, right? There always need to be something going on. Never no breaks, as with any other business, right? You slow down, your money slows down, right? So that's why we always talk about positioning. That's why we always talk about saying things like get ahead of the curve and things like that, because life moves in seasons, and even in business, it moves in seasons, and it will be a winter time, even in your business. And are you prepared to maintain when winter time does come, or when it does slow up, or when the tide goes back out, right? That's just the flow of life. That's the nature of life. It's not always going to be up. Sometimes it's down. You have to be able to maintain when it's down. So steady deal flow is something that we constantly look at, something that we constantly preach, and something that we constantly try to institute inside of our business. How do we do that? How do we create steady deal flow? This is why we say do a duality of both. Do all that's in your power when it comes to land investing. Do tax deed investing. Do direct to owner. Do all that's in your power. We don't talk about it often, but I'll fix and flip. I'll buy a house. I bought houses from auctions. We just prefer to deal with land from a virtual standpoint because it's easier to deal with, and it's easier to evaluate from a virtual standpoint. Like when we're dealing with houses from a virtual standpoint, there's a lot of things to check out, right? We have to check out the interior, we have to check out electric, system. We have to check out the plumbing system. We have to check out the condition of the house. We have to check out, is there mold? We have to check out the foundation. There's just a lot of things that need to be checked off that you can't see from a virtual standpoint. However, we do buy houses, but our rule of thumb for us, for our business, is when we're buying a house, whether that's from an auction or from a person, I prefer to be within distance that I can get back and forth to that house. When we're dealing with land, I don't have to be there. I can see it from a virtual standpoint. I can make evaluations. I can make assumptions. If I did need to be there, I can hire or partner with a realtor in that area and allow them to be my eyes and ears on a piece of land, which we have done many times. Don't think that we'll buy a 40 acre for, $100,000 and we're unaware of what it looks like in person. That would be untrue, right? So there are ways to get around it. As same thing, if you're dealing with a house as well, you could hire a realtor to be your eyes and ears when you're dealing with a house, but you have to have some type of rapport and some type of trust and some type of bond with that realtor when you're dealing with a house and you're paying whatever that is, $200,000-$300,000 for the house. You want to be accurate in your evaluations, right? We're not in it to lose. That's why we say land is just a tad bit safer in that regard. Unless you want to travel and hop in your car or fly to these different places often, we don't. However, we are in the stage of construction and building from ground up. So we positioned ourselves to look at an area that's within driving distance of where we're from. And that is up to you of how far you want to go. For me, I like max 3 hours. I'll drive 3 hours if it's a major project that we should do all right on. I'll drive 3 hours once a week. That's what we're doing now with our bills. We'll drive once a week, go check up on everything, see it with our own eyes, make sure things is moving how they're supposed to be moving. Anything over 3 hours, it's getting touchy for me. These days, I'm a little lazy with driving. So anything over 3 hours. So that's how we keep steady deal flow. You have to do a duality of both. You should be doing tax deed investing. Why tax deed investing or tax lien investing? Because there's an auction going on all year long. That space itself allows you to have a steady deal flow. How do you get a steady deal flow from buying from auctions? Well, you have to first get started and get the ball rolling because there's always a lag coming from an auction. Lag means that if you do win a bid or a purchase from an auction, it always takes at least 30 to 60, sometimes 90 days before you receive your deed. So you'll be waiting in the beginning, right? You'll be waiting to receive your deed. While you're waiting, you could pre-sell, right? Pre-sell means that you can put the listing up and see if you get some bites that way. I have to tell and be out. I wouldn't tell you nothing illegal to do. So I have to say you can't sell it without a deed. That would be underhanded, although it has been done and people wait till they get their deed. But that's not the proper way to teach. The proper way to teach is to say you wait till you get deed in hand. You see, I just gave you, I ain't saying do it. I'm just saying that it has been done. You wait till you get deed in hand. Then you advertise your property. You could pre-sell the property and say coming soon or something like that to that effect. All right. But it will be a lag because it takes 30 to 60 to 90 days to get your deed, depending on the auction that you're participating in. What does that mean? That means that once you get the ball rolling, you should probably, if you're in position to, try to go out and buy another one, then another one. So there's starts to be like an avalanche flow, a consistent flow in your business. When you have a break, then there's a restart. Now you have to wait, right? So money will be sporadically. That may still even work for someone that has a 9 to 5 in the beginning, because this would be a part-time hustle for you in the beginning. For me, that doesn't work for me because this is what we do full-time, right? Then when we're doing direct to owner, when we're sending offers out, like now we have a lot of offers out on the street, right? Calls are coming in. People are looking to sell their land. That's constant deal flow, right? So when you're mailing, you want to put yourself on a schedule, meaning that monthly you set a limit that you want to have out on the street. How many offers monthly do you want to have out? When we were heavily just focused on the business and we wasn't in the teaching capacity, our highest point, we were doing 25 to 30,000 units a month. That's why we came in contact and stayed in contact with a lot of deals, a lot of sellers, because there was always an offer out the door, right? When we started teaching, that slowed down a little bit because we focused more on the teaching, right? So where you put your attention, where you put your focus, that's where your finances will follow. These days, we're back doing both. We kind of brought in some people to handle some things. We hired some people to handle things on this side so we can focus on this side. Now we're back on schedule with mailing. We're not sending out 30,000 units right now. Right now, we're roughly 2,000, 3,000 units a month, and that's keeping us in contact with deals. You only need, well, you need as much as you can get. So I won't say you only need, clearly more deals the better. So let me not say that. I won't say what you need, right? But I will say it'll be a smart idea to make sure that you have a steady opportunity of deals coming in, whether that be through tax deed investing or whether that be through direct to owner. If you have questions, drop your questions down below. I got a little bit of time. And I'll answer questions today. Today's been a little just busy, as it always is. Just as I stated, a lot of people calling in to sell land, and I could be honest with y'all. I could be truthful with y'all. Bunch of garbage came in so far. I had two deals that may be potentially good, but in the beginning, that's how it is, right? Everybody that got garbage, they always want to call in and sell it to you. Then it just works this way. Then over the next couple of days, that's when the good deals start to come in. Sometimes the good ones come early. You never know. But, I'm looking for a particular product on this particular go round. Particular product I'm looking for is I'm looking for a buildable lot. A buildable lot that fits what me and my guys are trying to do. I'm not really looking in this area to flip land. Clearly, if something comes in that allows us to flip, then we will. But I'm looking for a buildable lot that we could build on. That's why I say that whether you're looking to hold on to your property or whether you're looking to make money from it, we can help in that regard. Because right now, I'm doing both, right? I'm looking for something potentially to flip, and I'm looking for something to hold on that we can build on. So it embodies both of those things when we send these offers out. So, and I'm very strategic of where I want to be, meaning that I know that there's a particular zip code in this county that I'm really interested in. So to attract those people, I just bump up my offer price. Does that guarantee that they're going to give me a call? Nothing's guaranteed. But one thing, that if there is no offer, they won't call you. I can guarantee that. But once we get the offers out, can we guarantee that they're going to call? No, we can't. But same thing in life. You got to be in it to win it. It only looked like genius work after the fact. So we tell people, have a first day. Get started. You may be one of the students that made $100,000 in a month. You may be one of the students that made $60,000 on a deal. But if you're outside of the game, then I can promise you that. Well, from our class, I don't know what you do on your own. And I hope you score. I'm not a hater. Overall, this is designed for us all to win. There's more than enough going around. Oh, like somebody's asking me now. I'm asking them about a deal. What's the price of the deal? And they say to me, I would love to hear your professional opinion on something like this. We received a few offers. So they want me to give a blind offer, is what they're asking. All right. Here's a live call. Hello, JCL.
Hello. I got a letter in the mail about a piece of property that I own.
Yes. Are you interested in selling?
Potentially. And I actually have a few more pieces right by it.
Okay. If you could provide me with the reference number, that would be great. That would allow me to pull up the property.
Sure. It's LCPA 2837.
You said 2837?
Correct.
2837. And if you could just give me a name and a good working number, I'll pull up the property and see exactly what it is that we have, and I'll give you a phone call back shortly.
Yeah, my first name is Ron.
Uh-huh.
And the last name is Schlecht.
Mm-hmm.
SCHLECHT.
Mm-hmm. And the number you're calling from, would that be a good number?
Yeah, it's 267-714-8459.
All right, Ron, just give me a couple of minutes, about 30 minutes to pull up the property and get it on the screen. Then I'll call you back and we can have a different conversation. My name is Ray, by the way.
Okay, thank you.
All right, no problem.
Bye.
All right, as I stated, deals come in. We don't harass people to buy land. We simply put offers out, and that's what you just heard on that call is what happens. People give a phone call back when they're interested in selling, right? That's why I say no offers. I can promise you, no deals, right? No offers, no deals. So what will happen at this point is that he gave me a reference number. That reference number is representative of his property. I'll go pull up the property, then I'll plug it into our system. His property will come up. We'll see what we have or what he has. Then we'll see if we're interested in that property. If it's a good deal, then we'll have a conversation about moving forward. I told him that I'll give him a phone call back, and I will, right? Because I hear everything. You probably didn't catch what he said, but I hear everything. I'll give him a phone call back because he said he had multiple properties. Whether I like this property or not, if he has multiple properties, I want to hear about all properties that he may potentially want to sell. If the property was no good, I can look up what he has, by the way. But if the property is no good, then I probably won't call back. That's just how it goes. What am I calling back for? Say I don't want it? So we just pass on deals that we don't want. If we don't want it, then I don't even call back because I just think it's stupid to call back. If he calls back, I will mark his property and say no good. And that way we'll just let him know that we wasn't interested and so on and so forth. And that's what we do pretty much when we're going direct to owner in a nutshell. I was glad that you was here to witness that phone call because these are the kind of things that we do in our private community. We do live calls. I let the mentees in the class, I let them hear how we have these phone calls, how we conduct ourselves on these phone calls. And I say the same thing that I'll say to you is the same thing that I say to the students. Always be courteous, always be polite, always be professional, whether you're doing a deal or whether you're not doing a deal. Whether they're disgruntled or whether they're happy, you keep a mellow, balanced, cool head, stay professional, and handle your business. And that's what we will do. Too bad you're not here to watch me evaluate this, but now I'm gonna go look at the property and see what he has. It's a real deal now. So now I have to log off because now I got to do real business. All right. Peace, y'all.